Hello there guys, SSJ Hyperion here, and today we're coming to you with what if Bardock went to the future. And just before we start in the video, I'd like to thank you guys for commenting on the last video. Gustin Frauds, here's your what if. And Eric Smith Jr., your what if will be coming up soon. It is actually still in productions. So right about now I actually have both the stories already planned out for what I'm gonna do. But I'm not really sure when I'm going to release these, or, well, when you guys see this, it would probably be already released, but I'm not really sure when I'm going to release the other versions of, the other what-ifs. But, as always, if you guys actually got through, if you guys get through the certain part of the video, I'm going to actually tell you what to comment below, and basically, whoever comments that first will actually get to decide the what-if. So if you guys actually don't even watch through the rest of the video, I'll know. But this is just my way of just teasing you guys a bit. I'm just testing out the waters with our subscribers and just other stuff like that for now. But let's just head straight into the video and not waste any more of you guys' time. We would start off by seeing Piccolo impaling Goku and Raditz with his special beam cannon. And right above them is Bardock, who doesn't even know what's going on. But at the sight of seeing his two sons die in front of his eyes, he gets enraged and immediately strikes Piccolo, killing him. "How dare you kill my sons, you bastard!" he would shout. Now looking down, he'd see Raditz mumble one of his last words. "Father, you're here," before completely collapsing and dying. And on his scouter, you'd hear Vegeta and Nappa talking before it just cuts out. And he'd know that someone would be coming to Earth. And just then, he'd get a flash once again, seeing Goku taking on Vegeta, and without Raditz at all. And he'd actually know that he just messed with whatever was gonna happen. He just messed with his son's future of taking down Frieza. How could he do this? Why is he so stupid every single time? But Bardock would not stand for this. He'd have to fix this somehow. He looks down on his grandson and picks him up and flies off. And just as he does, Krillin, Master Roshi, and Bulma arrive, only to see Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz dead. We would go over to the other world, where Goku, Kami, and Piccolo would be talking to King Yemma. Though King Yemma would not allow Piccolo to go through. Even after all of Kami's pleading, he would not let him go through, due to him thinking that Piccolo is still evil and would probably most likely just cause more trouble. This would lead to Piccolo just rushing past him without a care, waiting actually on Snake Way, and in a couple of minutes Goku would actually join him. But I don't see Goku playing around or dropping into hell by chance, so they'd actually continue on going on their journey. Going back off to Earth, we'd see the Z Fighters actually gathering at the lookout, where they'd actually start their training with Mr. Popo, as Kami isn't even there. But before they did actually get any training in, they'd realize that really and truly, they don't even know if they'd be powerful enough to take down the Saiyans, and they wouldn't even be able to revive Goku or anyone. And that's when they'd actually ask for advice from Mr. Popo, and this is when he'd try and get in touch with Kami in the other world. And Kami would actually tell them about his home planet. This would lead to Bulma and Mr. Popo heading off to Kami's old ship, where Bulma would get used to some of the commands, and the humans would instantly start preparing for the trip to Namek. After a while, they'd actually head off to Namek, all the Z Fighters in contact. They wouldn't even know what would happen over there. They wouldn't even know if they'd be safe, really, but they didn't really have much of a choice. But after Kami actually told them that his people were actually pretty peaceful, it was just the influence of the Earthlings that turned King Piccolo evil, they'd actually go along and they'd head to Namek. And immediately, they'd actually ask for help and tell them of their situation. which they would lead them all to Guru, who would suggest giving them all a power boost or unlocking their potentials. But he would realize that if he did unlock all of their potentials, he'd die. He would really actually die, because based on the canon timeline, we'd see that Guru is actually pretty weak, and after giving, like, what was it, Dende, Gohan, and Krillin power boosts, his power actually probably lowered a bit, which probably led to his death. So instead of using his own power to instead of using his own power to actually give them the power boost, we'd see them using the Dragon Balls and the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish that all the Z fighters themselves would get their potentials unlocked, which would actually lead to Goku and the rest of the Z fighters getting their potentials unlocked. Though it wouldn't give Raditz, Piccolo, Bardock any potential boost, because they're still not really a part of the Z fighters. They wouldn't really get that initial boost afterwards, but the main Z fighters would actually get a boost, which would boost their power quite substantially, and it would be actually pretty good for the Z fighters at this point. And then they would actually revive Kami right after, leading to him and the Dragon Balls being back in place and ready to use whenever they needed it. They would actually head off from Namek and actually pretty much thank them. And after that, they'd actually go back to Earth and actually start their training as well. Though this would take about, I think it was maybe 6 days for the trip there and the trip back. So almost 2 weeks. Hours would pass, and Krillin, Goku, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and Gohan would feel a drastic boost in their power after just being having their potentials unlocked via the Dragon Balls. So the power levels for everyone at this point would read 15,000 for Bardock, 17,600 for Goku, 10,500 for Tien, 8,500 for Krillin, 7,500 for Yamcha, 5,200 for Chaozu, and though it might seem small, it's 50 for Gohan. Their training would begin, Bardock basically beating on Gohan and forcing him to fight, just similar to how Piccolo did it, but in a sort of different way. So that would be their training. For the humans, they'd actually get straight back to training how, well, not exactly training how in the main timeline, but we'd see them training similarly to get used to the Saiyans and their like strategies, but that would only like take up maybe 1 day, and they'd probably use the Room of Spirit and Time for the most of the rest of their training and just sparring outside. And I definitely see them getting actually much stronger than before. Not to mention, Bardock as well would feel the drastic change in power in not only Gohan just in a couple of weeks, but he'd also change many power levels. He'll actually feel, many powers just starting popping up. And he'd actually be pretty surprised, thinking that it would be the Saiyans that have already arrived. But when he actually went to check where the powers were actually coming from, he'd see that they were just mere humans, and he'd actually be surprised at their level at this point. And he actually wouldn't know what to think of them, but I don't think he would go and ask for their help at this point. We'd definitely probably see him still training on his own, forcing his body to the absolute limit, even with what he had at this point. But we have seen Saiyans push their bodies by themselves and even get much stronger, so we're not going to count Bardock out of this time. We're definitely going to say that him and Gohan are getting much stronger as well, along with Piccolo, Goku, and Raditz in the other world, who are actually training much harder than ever before. Seeing that Goku got this big power boost and none of them actually got anything else, they did force themselves to even do better than before. Even Raditz trying to gain Zenkais from making Goku beat him up all the time, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, well, actually pretty funny considering what just has happened as Raditz was literally just beating up Piccolo and Goku just a few days ago, and it would be pretty. It would be like a reverse in the roles, but we definitely see Goku taking charge most of the time, and it would actually lead to them actually getting more powerful than canon, to the point that even though they managed to learn the Kaioken, which Piccolo in this case is actually the best at using, they wouldn't actually really even need it, even though they wouldn't know at this point. So it's actually pretty funny if you think about it. But it would come to the point where the training would be over, and the 1 year gap would be also over as well. And it would lead to the point where all the Saiyans would arrive on Earth, and Bardock, Gohan, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, Chaozu would all be there, facing off against Nappa and Vegeta. But exactly as they're preparing to start their own attack, they'd see Nappa just planning Cybermen, and this would lead to the first stage of the fight. But this is where we're going to be leaving it off. Just so you guys, if you guys have any like comments or anything that you want to say, if you want anything changed about this what if, things that I could explain more, just leave them down in the comments. But this is more like a what is to come, what is to like, more like let a feel for this what if itself. So this doesn't have to be the actual first episode of what's gonna happen, but it all depends on you guys, on what you guys actually feel. But as you can see, this is actually the end of the video, and if you guys have actually watched through the rest of this video waiting for what you need to say, well, you actually made it to the right part. Even though this is at the end of the video, don't think that the rest of the times it will be at the end. I'm just testing out the waters, as I said before. But yes, all you need to say is at the end of the video, or in the comments I should say, is input audio. That's all. It's just a random, I'm just saying random stuff. You don't know. I'm just testing the waters, as I said. But anyways, guys, I'm really sorry. This is SSJ Hyperion signing out, guys. All right.